like to call let me get my paper here. Town of Cedar Lake Plan Commission, November 15th, public meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Carnahan.
Here.
Mr. Foreman.
Present.
Mr. Hunley.
Here.
Ms. Dessauer. Present. Mr. Sharp is absent. Mr. Parker.
Here.
Mr. Kapora.
Present.
Mr. Oliphant.
Here.
Mr. Austin.
Present.
Ms. Abernathy. Present. Ms. Heidig is present.
Okay. Got to check hearing aids, glasses, yeah, that's it. That's pretty good. Minutes, September 6, 2023 work session. These have been distributed to the members. Is there any corrections to the minutes? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Parker to approve. Second. Second by Mr. Foreman. Roll call, please.
Mr. Carnahan.
Yes.
Mr. Foreman.
Yes.
Mr. Hunley.
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer. Yes. Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Mr. Kapora.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Number 1, Harvest Creek preliminary plat extension, owner petitioner Diamond Peak Group LLC, 1313 White Hawk Drive, Crown Point, Indiana. Vicinity of 9210 West 155th Avenue, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Petitioner is requesting a 1-year extension on the preliminary plat for the Harvest Creek from February 15, 2024 to February 15, 2025. Hi.
Good evening, Commissioners. Michael Herbers with Diamond Peak Group, 1313 White Hawk Drive. Again, as mentioned, I'm here seeking a 1-year extension on our primary plat that was approved back in February of this year. Just a quick recap, it is a 98 single-family home development, 70-foot wide by 135-foot deep homes, sitting on 40 acres right at that northwest corner of 155th and Parish. Again, single-family homes, nice detention in the middle of the development. Again, just here seeking our extension for the primary plat.
Okay, Don, do you have anything?
No comments, Minister.
Building Department?
Similar, this is a ministerial item, and this is the first time they're ever asking for an extension.
Okay. Commissioners, any discussion?
No, sir.
No, sir. We had gone over this at the work session. I think everything's in order to do the extension, so with no further ado, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, sir, to approve the 1-year extension of the preliminary plat for Harvest Creek from February 15th, 24 to February 15th, 25.
Motion made by Ms. Dessauer. Second, please.
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Hunley. Any questions? Roll call.
Mr. Carnahan.
Yes.
Mr. Foreman.
Yes.
Mr. Hunley.
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer.
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Mr. Kapora.
Yes. Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a
good night.
holiday. Have a good week. Number 2, Lakeside Unit 2, Block 1, final plat. Owner petitioner, Cedar Lake, 133 LLC, 8900 Wicker Avenue, St. John, Indiana. Vicinity of 5711 West 133rd Avenue, Cedar Lake. Petitioner is requesting the final plat for Lakeside Unit 2, Block 1, which contains 55 single-family lots and 1 outlet.
Good evening, Jack Slager with Schilling Development, representing Cedar Lake 133, requesting final plat approval for Lakeside Unit 2, Block 1, which, as you said, is 55 single-family lots. We have paid the development fee and the MS4 fee, and we have provided the town with the performance letter of credit guaranteeing the completion of the improvements. We've had a nice stretch of weather, and they're finishing the roads here in the next week, so we're hoping to get the plat recorded and possibly even get some homes started before the end of the year.
Good. Don, anything?
Our letter from November 9th reflects approval of the final plat with our standard 3 fees. The 3% inspection fee will be $72,660.65. The letter of credit value should be posted for $1,335,094.04, and then the MS4 inspection fee for $2,000.
Okay. Building department, anything?
What Mr. Slager said is correct. They have already paid their 3% inspection fee and MS4 fee. The bank has provided me with the performance letter of credit in the correct amount.
Okay. Commissioners, any discussion?
No, sir.
I'm good. Okay, any motion should include, mention Don's letter of November 9th, 2023. With that said, I'll entertain a motion.
I'd make a motion to approve Lakeside Unit 2, Block 1, final plat, contingent on the, and note the November 9th fees that were documented in that letter.
Motion made by Mr. Foreman, second please.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Deschauer.
And
Any questions?
John, on your motion, that is from Christopher Burke.
Yes, I'm sorry.
To include the letter.
Donald
Yes,
Wilson from Christopher Burke.
I didn't hear you say Christopher.
I did not.
Okay.
Thank you for correcting me.
Let's go with the second too.
I'm sorry, yes,
Yeah.
I second.
Okay. All right, any discussion from the commissioners? Any more?
No, sir.
If not, then I'll entertain a motion.
No, you got a motion and a second.
Yeah.
Roll call.
I'm sorry.
Roll call.
Not roll tide, roll call.
We started. Roll call, please.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Foreman?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Kapur?
Yes, motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
Have a good holiday, guys. Number 3, Saniel Villa, Phase 1, request to convert from performance letter of credit to maintenance letter of credit.
All right, good evening, Kevin Pasco, Bolthoff Homes, 8051 Wicker Avenue, St. John, Indiana. We received Don's letter on October 3rd, recommending converting the letter of credit from performance to maintenance. We turned in a letter of credit yesterday to Ashley, so everything should be in order.
Don?
That is correct. You issued a letter on October 3rd. This would be establishing a maintenance letter of credit for a period of 3 years, and that value will be $93,460.79.
That was November
To your
3rd,
bank, right?
the letter?
October 3rd.
October 3rd?
Yes.
Okay, any discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion, and let's include Don's letter of October 3rd, 2023, from Christopher Burke. Motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the request to convert from performance letter of credit to maintenance letter of credit, referencing the Christopher Burke letter from October 3rd, and the amount of $93,460.79.
Motion made by Ms. Deschar, seconded by Mr. Parker. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Foreman?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Kapur?
Yes, motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
Number 4, consider taking 2023-20 Red Cedars from the table to allow discussion to take place at the December work session regarding the revised plan submitted as requested by the Plan Commission at September 20th, 23 public meetings. Ashley, do you have a comment to make?
Yes, sir. I received a call this afternoon from our special attorney's office. They are changing their recommendation from removing it from the table at this meeting to leaving it on the table till your January meeting.
Okay, with that said, There's no action that should be taken, I guess, because it's on the table, so.
Special attorneys meaning to
The special attorney,
Representing
Barnes
them?
and Thornburg,
represent the town on behalf.
correct.
Gotcha.
Our Barnes and Thornburg representation for this item has changed their recommendation.
Am I correct in assuming that there's no action to be taken? Because it's already on the table?
That's my assumption.
My assumption too.
Yeah, we have no legal representatives on this matter, so
Just a recommendation.
just a recommendation, so. As it stands, it'll stay on the table to further notice. Okay, update items. Building records and fees, that'll,
With the packet, I did redistribute those building regulations and fee amendments. I asked the plan commission to please review them and advise if you see any changes that may need to be made to that item.
okay. Number 2, Rose Garden Estates, Unit 2, performance letter of credit expires December 9th, 2023.
I don't have an update on that. If you've been out there over the last week, they have started paving surface out there after doing binder repairs last week. So they are making progress. We did issue our punch list letter earlier this week, so they have that as well. And then we still need to review their Phase 2 and Phase 3 as-built. And then Public Works also needs to do inspections of 2 and 3 and re-inspect 1. So they haven't requested a deduction, so it's my understanding they'll eventually come in with a full freight renewal.
So here's the thing. The letter of credit expires December 9th unless we can set it, would you be comfortable setting a pull date on the 6th, or do we need to amend the agenda and set a pull date
I'm
now?
completely comfortable with December 6th.
I don't have any letter of credit extension in hand.
I think we all know what's gonna happen here with this one.
Okay, well then that's where it'll stand.
Phase 2.
Don, on, the Phase 1, you had told us that there was 100 items that needed corrected, and you said they're working on some of them. How low has that number gone down, do you know?
I'll give you an estimate. So the way we read our letters, they're kind of compounding. So before we issued this letter, we issued one at the beginning of the year, they were at 97. We continued off of 97, we're up to 126, but of those first 97, they've probably completed about 75% of them.
Just
So
to
they are,
reiterate for everyone though, they've not requested a reduction, and we
No.
have,
and by now, if they request it now, we don't have enough time to get all that paperwork together for that date.
my point is though, is
So
that
it's
we've
either-
got a considerable amount of funds to cover, more than cover, any issues that wouldn't be taken care of.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanna reiterate to the,
Yeah, I mean, especially with them paving. So that knocks out a whole chunk right there. Yeah, I mean, Phase 2, I think, is actually the smallest of the 3,
I think that's Phase 3. I
or
think
Phase
this
3.
one's around $3 million.
Yeah, there are 2, 3 million. One's the big boy, that's still 6.
So if we have to pull, we have to pull.
Yeah,
Pull the whole amount.
you would. And you'd fix what's not done yet, and you'd return the rest.
Yeah.
okey-doke.
Number 4, Summer Winds, Unit 2, performance letter of credit expires December 20th, 23.
Redstone is number
Skip
3. John.
Oh, I've marked it off and didn't read it. Number 3, Ledstone, maintenance letter of credit expires December 7th, 2023.
Jack Slager is here, he let us know earlier today that they should have their punch list stuff done before Thanksgiving. So once that's done, we'll do a quick re-inspection and we should be okay prior to the expiration. This is maintenance.
Okay. Now, number 4, can I take 4 and 5 together or no?
4, 5, and 10, if you wanna take all those.
Okay, 4, 5, and 10, let me read them. Number 4, Summer Winds, Unit 2, performance letter of credit expires December 20th, 2023. Summer Winds, Unit 3, performance letter of credit expires December 23rd, 2023. And number 10, Summer Winds, Unit 1, performance letter of credit expires February 15th, 2024.
I have still heard nothing from the developer. If we're looking at having a special public meeting on the 6th to handle the Rose Garden Estates performance letter of credit, we can add this to that agenda either to set a pool date. Because I emailed Mr. Dinga back in October, let them know that they're coming up for expiration, if you're wanting to extend, haven't heard anything from them.
Yeah, because the Unit 2 would expire the day of the public meeting. The next, Unit 3 expires 3 days later, and then, Unit 1 would be February, so we don't have to pull that one. But 2 and 3 would, yes, you need to set a date.
And we
Do it at your December 6th meeting.
Yeah.
set it on this, at that,
No, have it as an agenda item, that'll be a special meeting, I presume.
that, we'll set the date then?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so be it then. If, we don't hear from them or what have you, on, December 6th meeting, we'll have a special, that's a work session, we'll have a special public hearing, and at that time, we'll set a date to pull on this, summer winds matter, on these two.
It won't be a public hearing.
Be a special public.
Special
meeting,
public.
Bob.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Number 6, Beacon Point East, Unit 2, performance letter of credit expires January 30th, 2024. Next one, too?
I could take 6 and 7 together. 7 is Unit 1, which is where we have the pond reshaping that needs to be done. I believe it's Mr. Slager's intention to extend that 6 months. That'll put us into July. Should give us enough time to remediate that. And then Unit 2, I believe everything's completed. We just need to do a reinspection on it. That one should be okay. So it's kind of in our court. Need to get back out there and look at some of the changes.
Well, we got time to talk about it.
Yeah, we got
That's
time.
fine.
That's
Yeah,
not
okay.
till end of January.
All right, number 8, Beacon Point Unit 1A, maintenance letter of credit expires January 30th, 2024. Number 9 too, or?
Yeah, I'll take 8 and 9. Yeah, those two,
Go
I
ahead.
believe the punch list has been addressed, and again, we just need to go out there and verify everything. So we got some time on that one, but
Yeah.
we'll do that reinspection
They're all
here.
January 30th, so.
Yeah, we'll do those pretty quick here.
And
Well, we
number
have-
11, Cedar View, performance letter of credit expires February 15th, 2024.
That'll likely be extended.
Yeah, he hasn't really started it.
From what I've heard, they're finally getting stuff cleaned off the property,
Okay.
so.
But yeah, that'll be extended.
Okay. Public comment. I will, state this, that, you come up and talk, or speak your piece, but we cannot convert anything on the lot and developments. So you can say what you want, but we cannot respond to it. So everybody knows. Come forward, your name and address, please.
My name is Jennifer Hacker-Prunski, 14617 Lane Street, Cedar Lake, Indiana. I actually just wanted to touch base and share some information on and concerns about the South Shore, former South Shore Golf Course. It's not really probably a well-kept secret, but several developers and/or interested parties have backed out of that property in the past. And with it being in my backyard, I started to do a little bit of research. And I have all the data right here. Actually, I've been working with the EPA and the IDEM, and they have reached out to the current owner of the property to request or ask the presence of a Phase 1 study. I know that a Phase 1 study is not required if you do not, need bank financing. However, I probably have 100 case studies. Most recent is one that dated March 2023. And it's really in regards to a golf course being the potential development. And I can provide this to anybody if they like. And it's very similar to what's proposed to be happening with the development in my own backyard. In this particular golf course, they're only going back 40 years worth of pesticides, herbicides, and other fertilizers. Actual people who lived near that property collected soils and had it analyzed. So this golf course is not even as old as the one that's behind us. I mean, they picked up arsenic, chromium-6. I mean, 2 of the samples had chromium-6 that was 14 times higher than an acceptable rate. So, you know, I could go on and on and on. The information is quite startling, and basically it's a chemical sink. And disrupting any of that soil, I mean, it's not that they cannot be developed or any future use. It's just that there's going to be a cost and a proper way. And it's not even maybe all of the property, but particularly the greens is where they're finding the high levels of contaminants. So, you know, I'm really asking the town whether it's this golf course, you know, or any other future site, that the due diligence is being done. I mean, can the town accept the financial risk if you go ahead and approve these, you know, homes being built, that soil's disrupted, therefore releasing those toxins not only into the air, but look at all the money that we spent on this eco-restoration. That particular property is very, very sensitive with our ecosystem. Not only does it flow into wetlands on 2 sides of the property, but the creek flows into the lake. So, you know, I mean, there's a lot of information here. Again, to kind of recap, the EPA, IDEM has not heard back from that developer's attorneys requesting that information. This is a long, ongoing process. But I'm asking the town, you know, that information is requested, you know, before or considered, you know, no matter what happens to that property and any other future properties, you know, especially when I forget the percentage of how much of the water flows into the lake on any projects. But I do have data. It's very sensitive, and it's pretty terrifying. The other thing that I wanted to talk about as well is, you know, I've been working with Mark Bash on the DNR on all the well investigations. And, you know, as I read through all of the studies, and the general consensus is that equipment, pumps and pipe is being added to lower, you know, where they can actually get water. I mean, over 2022 and 2023, it's alarming. And I actually have not even received, there's a continuous monitoring device that the DNR is going to be downloading that data. And, you know, it's going to be really interesting to see the impact. You know, I don't know why, you know, we're talking about this now. This has been going on for quite some time. So I am encouraging the town as well to be very mindful of that and the impact of current residents' homes when you approve a development. I know nobody owns that water, but, you know, why are we not talking to the representative for the IDEM, the one who's here all the time investigating these community wells? You know, these are conversations that need to be had. We don't have a crystal ball on the water table, but there's a lot that the town can do, you know. I mean, the meeting was canceled here for the JMOB. Where's the data? I mean, everybody, you know, it's not another one of those secrets. Where's the data that the sewer capacity is okay? You know, where's the numbers? How do we continue, or the town continue to approve these permits without hard data? I was looking forward to going to that meeting. I wanted to hear the numbers.
If I could, on that meeting, I asked the town manager today, I had heard rumors that we canceled the meeting, but he assured me it was Lowe that canceled the meeting, not us.
Well, I mean, whether it's canceled or not, somebody's got the data. I don't understand why there is not a moratorium until there are facts, figures, numbers, period. You know?
We're asking a lot of the same questions you just brought up, so I mean.
So I know that, I mean, I have all this data, I have it in PDFs, I have a map of all the well investigations and the concentrations of where they are, you know, and as we're building all these new homes, let's not forget about old Cedar Lake, existing homes that are on the fringe of these properties here. I mean, I've spent a lot of time here, and the case studies on the golf courses are terrifying. And I look at all the money we spent on this lake, and I can tell you, they start moving that earth behind my house, and this town does not hold the developer or anybody responsible to properly remove that soil according to all the standards. As a matter of fact, you have to have a permit through the Army Corps of Engineers, I can find it in here, regarding that water flowing there. There's a special permit use if they start developing that. So, I mean, be careful.
And just for the benefit of the audience, her acronyms, that's the Indiana Department of Environmental Management and the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency. I don't know if they understand that, but I just want to emphasize that.
The IDEM is involved in any community well because it, you know, it's responsible, it's going to hundreds of homes, so they have to make sure that it's safe. But they're also involved, it's a joint effort, I guess, between when you inquire, the EPA and the IDEM kind of work hand in hand. I'm not an expert. I'm just a resident who's been reading a ton
Sounds
and
like it doesn't,
and asking a lot of questions. But you guys have to do your work, and I'm going to keep asking questions. And if I'm not here, I'm going to keep watching. But the lake, that golf course is highly, highly fragile. Matter of fact, this whole town is very fragile.
yes, we are.
And people don't understand why we can't just pipe in and get water from Lake Michigan. You know, we have to explain to them the topography and the continental divide, and our resources are dwindling. You know, Mark Bash at one time told me that, I don't have it in an email yet, but I'm going to get it, is that the east side is very fragile with the water. Maybe you guys can all ask him, or we can have them come up. But they have spent a lot of time and have sent the very few staff members that they have up here in Cedar Lake to take these, to take the monitoring, to do the readings of the hydrostatic or the static water levels.
What is his status, Mark?
Mark is over all.
Yeah, but do you know what his title is?
Yeah, he's the water rights. You can just type it in. He's the one who's over. So when a particular developer's attorney was in here several months ago, and people were saying, well, you know, if our wells are affected, you know, what happens? You know, Ice Miller said, well, you know, you're going to reach out to the DNR. Well, I left that meeting, and I reached out to the DNR, and that's wrong. They're going to go ahead and they're going to do an investigation, but we don't have the infrastructure. We just can't, you know, turn a button on or you know, there's going to be a faucet that the water's going to come. They're going to do the investigation, and if they can point to something that has caused that well to go dry, but every report that you read, they're lowering the pump, they're putting in additional pipe. I mean, this is 2022, 2023. Some of these were older, but there's a trend here. You know, wake up, pay attention. Period. Stop issuing more permits.
I assure you that this commission is very concerned, as you are, about those subjects that you just brought up. We were I think the whole commission was going to attend that meeting in Lowell yesterday, and then it was canceled for whatever reason, I don't know. So that was kind of disappointing.
It's not a handshake anymore. It's not we're good folks. It's not a good old boys network. Show us the numbers. It's not that hard to figure out. I mean, I'm not a specialist in any way, but you look at the gross, the people down in Lowell, the JMOB, they won't tell you anything. They won't give you the numbers. We're okay. I mean, there's a reason why meetings get canceled.
There's a lot of misinformation because I talked to one person and there's more room than you could possibly need down there in Lowell. And we went down there, Mr. Huntley and I went down there, and the guy said, well, you know, I know what comes in and what goes out, and there isn't much left here. You know, so, and someone else tells you, well, you know, there's room for 91 more hookups. So, I mean, you know, who do you believe? So that's why I want numbers, or I want documentation, you know, specific reports and that, so that we understand and we know what capacity is down there. I mean, my God, you're talking about putting a lot of homes in here, and we're not, this commission here is not jumping on the bandwagon to put in PUDs or townhouses or what have you. We're looking at it strongly. And we asked the question too, where's the water coming from that we're going to drink?
Mr. Cabrera.
Where's the wastewater gonna go?
And those questions need to be asked, and there has to be the data. I have reached out to municipalities, I have reached out to commercial, you know, companies that drill for wells. I have secret shopped. I mean, I have done everything that I possibly can. And I mean, I wish I didn't have to work, because it's all consuming and it's interesting. And we, all of us residents, you know, trusted people to make the right decisions. And maybe we're asleep at the wheel, but we're not asleep anymore. I know that this town does not have the coffers to, you know, to go ahead and, you know, fix a lot of these mistakes. So moving forward, and who only knows what you're going to be inheriting here. You know, I think that, not that I think, I know that there's probably been a lot of decisions that have already been made, you know, that cannot be undone. But moving forward, you know, the work has to be done before one thing can be approved.
You know where the condos are down there? That dirt was contaminated, and they brought in equipment, and they ran that dirt through a burning process and cleaned all that dirt up before they could build those condos, so.
It can be done.
Yeah,
I mean,
so I saw that done down there.
But there's a tremendous cost to it, you know, and developers don't want to spend it. There's a reason why people pulled away from it, you know, initially, the first company that thought about developing it. And, you know, I'm not going to go anywhere, you know.
What, are you referring to the YMCA?
No, I'm referring.
Because that never came before any of us.
No, Schilling.
Okay, the YMCA, because there are so many complaints from the residents, they backed out.
That was the biggest mistake that probably actually happened. It's a beautiful property in Crown Point, Pleasant Valley. I can go on and on,
Yeah.
but I'm going to continue to put my files together. I'm going to continue to communicate with the EPA, the IDEM. I'm still waiting to see what the process is if the developer owns the South Shore Golf Course, if they do not respond back as to, you know, where's the data, did you do a phase one? Again, it wasn't required, but you know, none of these things happen quickly. But I have the emails, I have the data, I have everything, and there'll be more data to come.
Is it possible to have them get them to come to a work session where the public can come and listen to them and everything?
I don't know if they will, you know. I don't know if, you could probably get a representative, maybe not Mark Bash, but one of the individuals would probably come and talk to residents to maybe let them know the process, to let them know that it is not the DNR's responsibility, more of an informational session. That IDM representative for this area has been here often. So there's a lot of people that you all should be familiar with.
Could you provide that information to me?
Sure.
Sure.
I mean, this is all public records requests, you know. Sure.
I'll give you this.
I'll give you everything I have.
Or maybe provide it to Ashley here so she can provide it to all of us.
Again, these are all of the investigations. It's an interactive map of all the well investigations that have been done. You know, got to kind of go through and see if there is a trend there. And everybody that I've requested from, I said I'm requesting this and I'll be sharing it to whoever, needs it.
And my well, was 200 feet deep, and it went dry. And then, the well company came in, and they drilled it, they thought they could find water somewhere else on my property at 200 feet. They had to go 320 feet. And, they came in and said to me, Bob, we gotta talk to you, because we thought we were gonna get water at 200 feet, and it was gonna cost me $4,000 in 2000, and he says, you owe me $2,000 more.
Who has that money here?
I said I didn't have it, and I said, is that the best you can do? And he said, yes. I said, can we work a payment plan out? And he let me work a payment plan out without any interest.
And this is what started all this. Mr. Abshire was going to be appointed to the Plan Commission, but he was of the wrong party. And I had a conversation with him because he's my neighbor, and Colleen Scheiben is my neighbor, and Tim Cook is my neighbor. And I went over and I asked him, I said, I know that you're friends with the developer. I have some questions for you. And I asked him about the water situation. And he told me that the developer assured him that the water situation is going to be fine. However, if it's not, I will make sure that you have water. What does that mean? Forcing us with existing wells to tap into a community well? I mean, the infrastructure's not even there. We would just run a hose? I mean, I about lost my mind. Then I started reading. And the concern just elevated from there. But, this isn't emotions, there's facts here, data. And that's how all the decisions should be made moving forward.
Sure. Well, I appreciate all your effort and time, and this is my email on that.
It's my hobby.
Your hobby?
Thank you.
My hobby's golf. Thank you.
Kyle Caves, 12716 Wheeler Street. I currently live in Crystal Oaks. First, I want to thank everybody on the leadership for tabling the development we're not supposed to be talking about. So I grew up in South Shore, same neighborhood, yep. I know Colleen, I know a lot of people in that neighborhood. Myself, grew up, moved away, came back to Cedar Lake 'cause I love this town, right? I only started getting involved with what's going on in this town is because when this town was struggling, I bought a house because I thought, you know what, if I do my part, it's going to help this neighborhood kind of revitalize. This town can get back to where it was. 2008 recession hit hard. Sure enough, I get married, have kids. My wife loves the neighborhood, loves Cedar Lake. Let's build on the last lot in our neighborhood. All right, build the last lot. Next thing you know, the water tower goes up. Nobody told us, right? So there's rumors and all this other stuff, but I never see anything. Then, my fault, I guess, right? Not getting involved in town politics and what's going on here at the Plan Commission, right? Now that I'm involved, my professional career, I'm a global project planner. And the things that this lady back here brought up is exactly right. This town does not want to deal with the EPA because where I work is the lakefront, Lake Michigan. You know what a fine is when you put nichrome in the water? This town doesn't want to be responsible for that. You don't want those people in here. I work with them on a daily basis up there, right? We have to be careful. How much money did we pay to dredge the lake? Anybody know, real quick? Millions, I'm assuming, right? So if we dredge the lake, and we don't do all these other things that everybody's saying that, yes, the soil's contaminated, we need to do the proper survey and ensure we protect our waterways, right? That's a big thing, especially in this country right now, politically, it's a hotbed. Environmental is like number one on the administration's, and we don't want to be on that map. I can tell you from this, when we had an incident up at where I work, you do not want to work with them people. They're going to come in here, they'll rip us apart, they'll crush us, and they'll start from the very beginning. Where does this all go wrong? So my professional opinion is tread lightly. let's do our research, let's continue being valiant, good leadership, and making sure we hold these developers accountable. They can't just come in here, like they did up in St. John, and think they can do whatever they want, because that's the attitude I got from that developer. When the gentleman comes in here, talks to you all, doesn't want to listen to public opinion, walks out, just like he did tonight, right, when we're voicing our own concerns. I'm also a volunteer firefighter up there, and when I heard the chief said, hey, I don't like how close these lots are together, it was in one year and out the other to the developer. He don't care about us. He don't care about the lives that might be at risk, right? The chief was absolutely right. You can't get a fire engine in between 8 feet between houses, right? We've seen that up in Chicago, where a fire just jumps house to house to house. And our houses here aren't brick. They're made out of wood, right? So we just need to be careful. I'm asking you for good, solid leadership on this development and future developments here in Cedar Lake. I know it's coming. Progress is going to come. But we need to be careful. We need to protect our lake, right? Because that's the thing that brings us all here. So, thank you. I'm going to be actually getting in touch with you back there because I like all the information you have. And that way we can help educate more people, right? That's the intent, is to make sure everybody has the same information, we're getting good, viable information, we're making good, strong decisions. So I appreciate you guys tabling that development. Hopefully, they can come to their senses and come to you guys with a good proposal. But again, we need to be careful. And with the wells, I've heard this where there's some debate of whether or not we're all in the same aquifer or not. The way things are trending, I could probably say we're in the same aquifer. And I know this because I've drilled before. Not for water, but for oil. And the way the geography works, that's usually what it is. If you're drilling, you're at a depth, 200 feet away, you go down a little bit further, and then the other well goes dry, you're probably pulling from the same place, right? So again, we need to protect our residents. Thank you again, and thanks everybody for coming and speaking up too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Hi, I'm Donna Corey, 14605 Bryan Street. I'm not as elaborate as Jennifer, that young gentleman was, but the other day I went into Sportsman's Den, something that's a store in Cedar Lake, and behind the register was a Cedar Lake flag. Nice little garden flag, and I purchased it, and on this flag, and I should bring it, there's a bobber, a pier, a sailboat, a sunset. It's a beautiful flag that represents Cedar Lake. Look at our, whatever you want to call it, the symbol for Cedar Lake. I remember being up here for the YMCA, not for, but being against the YMCA, which now it is a very beautiful place. It's in a dead-end road that's not very busy. It's a perfect place for a camp, day camp, summer camp. But Cedar Lake is a lake community. I hate when people keep comparing us to Crown Point, Winfield, Dyer, St. John. They don't have an 800-acre lake in the middle of their community. We do. We are a lake community. Please consider this all the time. I remember, Mr. Capora, when we were fighting the YMCA, you said we have to be very careful about this property because it's the last one like it that exists. Please remember, I understand whoever he bought the property, he purchased it, and it's right to do whatever he wants to do with it. But just please remember the zoning laws, the PUD. I know there's going to be houses there, but can't just think just the least amount of houses possible, because we are a lake community. That lake is very important. People move to Cedar Lake because of that lake. If I was to relocate, I would think I wouldn't want to be in Cedar Lake unless I had lake rights or I can put my boat in. That's all about, to watch the sunset. I love watching the sunset. So that's my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Don. Any other public comment? Hi, Jerry.
Hey, John. Jerry Wilkeny, 10826 West 131st Avenue. I just had a quick question. I know you guys done your own homework on sewer capacity, sanitary sewer. What do our engineers say? That's not your expertise, that's Neil's, right?
Yeah.
Do any of you have Neil's opinion on this? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Nobody does?
Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
That's what Neil says, yeah,
Neil says thumbs up. Okay, all right, thank you.
on all projects, yeah. Any other public comment? Public comment? Third call. Comment is closed. Any discussion, commissioners? No? We're adjourned. Thank you.